What's going on, MJ traders and investors? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community on the planet. Today is Saturday, February 17th. Hope you're having a great weekend. And in this video, we're going to do another rapid fire news update for February 10th to the 16th. And again, this isn't to go over deep dive details or anything like that. It's just a high level overview of all the pertinent information and updates that transpired over the last week or so, and we try to keep these videos around 10 to 15 minutes in length. But let me know what you think of this format and this video, and also try to keep them around 10 to 15 minutes. Going to be doing this one a little bit shorter today as there isn't as many updates this week, and I am going to be celebrating our anniversary, my partner and I, for dinner this evening. So I'm going to try to keep this one a little bit shorter. Before we get to it though, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. Also, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only, and you should never ever buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or anything that I write. Also, you can give us a follow over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. Pennsylvania governor says lawmakers don't even have a choice but to legalize MJ as other states move ahead. Well, that's pretty much, preaching to the choir here, pretty much common sense. I mean, half of the U.S. is legalized at the adult use level. It's just a matter of if, not when. It's just a matter of when, not if, these states move ahead with it. And eventually, they're just going to be forced to, if you are reluctant to change will, it's just going to be inevitable, right? Those that ignore the change now will end up trying to make up for it and being penalized for it in the short term here. And other countries are going to have to do the same thing, right? It's just game theory playing out. It's dominoes falling, right? We know that the states, each individual state, are feeling the pressure from other states, and then it's going to be exponential from there, right? The more countries, Germany coming online, right? The EU is going to be pressured, and then the US is going to be pressured. And the US is never first, but they're never last. And that is because they have the biggest economy in the world, and they can leapfrog other countries or, other economic powerhouses in the world, right? It doesn't matter if they're, late to the party, they're just going to leapfrog because of their sheer economic impact and GDP, right? They have the people in the GDP to do it. Delaware adult use MJ shops will see delayed launch timeline, top regulator says. So a little bit of a setback there, but nothing to be worried about, in my opinion. Also, moving MJ to Schedule 3 would not violate international treaties, legal opinion says. So I've been following a lot of lawyers in the space as well, and they say that, if we were to deschedule, that would violate international treaties, and there would have to be some amendments to those agreements. So that's why I think Schedule 3 is the most likely scenario. And then we also had Earl Blumenauer pushes DEA to clarify timelines for MJ rescheduling. So I think that the most likely scenario is we get Schedule 3, and I think we're going to get an announcement from the DEA, and I think they will approve it at some point between now and the end of April. And again, this is just more pressure on the DEA to get something done, right? To release. And we know that that unredacted version of the HHS letter was very, very positive and said that there's a lot of medical benefits, right? So I think at this point the evidence is, it's undisputable. You can't kick this can that further down the road as much as they have. So I think the timing is going to be, like I said, over the next few months. Also, charts are pointing to massive upside in terms of price appreciation over the next few months. So that would coincide nicely with a DEA decision and announcement to Schedule 3, in my opinion. Also, High Tide signs limited cannabis distribution agreement with Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries, which was great to see, one of my top picks for 2024 and beyond. Also, Organigram eyes U.S. opportunities and laments THC inflation in quarterly loss. So they did miss analyst estimates, and I actually did an earnings prep video where I had predicted that, not really in the prediction business, but I did provide a bunch of reasons why I thought they were more than likely going to miss. And we know that they're still plagued by very high excise taxes as well. I think a third of the revenue last quarter went to just excise tax alone. So that's something that we could see an improvement. The feds here in Canada are looking to provide a spring release and update to the MJ Act this spring. So that could bring some changes, some positive changes with regards to, packaging, distribution, labeling, marketing, all that stuff, taxation. So hopefully we see some improvement there in the not too distant future, as that will be a huge win for these producers in Canada. Also, Tilray subsidiary Breckenridge Distillery wins world's best finished bourbon at 2024 World Whiskey Awards, which is great to see. As we know, they are branching into alcohol as well, spirits and beer, specifically craft beer, and acquiring 8 beverage brands from Anheuser-Busch, the maker of Budweiser. So great. I think it's a great, alignment in their business with their MJ beverages is going to be something that they can just tap into, no pun intended, at some point in the near future with MJ-infused beverages. MedMen lays off almost 24 at Las Vegas MJ store, and then they laid off 25 MJ workers at suburban Chicago store. So they continue to right-size their business, and there's been a lot of negative press right now with regards to MedMen. Whether or not they're going to pull it off, who knows? But I think that Tilray could potentially acquire them if federally permissible. As we know, they have their convertible debt as well. So that'll be an interesting story if it plays out. South Carolina Senate approves medical MJ bill on initial vote. Great to see. And then Hawaii senators approve MJ legalization bill as state agencies undermine pro-reform governor with opposition testimony. So there's always going to be opposition, right? But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a matter of when, not if. And the more states, the more countries that legalize at the adult use level, even medical, it's just going to put more pressure on these states and additional countries, right? Arizona lawmakers approved bill to allow interstate MJ commerce. I think this is a trend that's just beginning, and I think this is ultimately where we're going to end up. We're going to be descheduled. We're going to be treated just like alcohol and tobacco, and eventually you will see interstate commerce, and you'll see, inter-country commerce as well. You'll see different. You'll see exporting from Canada to the U.S. and vice versa, right? So you're going to see that trend continue to play out, interstate commerce, and then also between countries as well. I think is ultimately where we're going to be going, and like I said, just be treated like alcohol and tobacco at that point, right? Also, German lawmakers officially put MJ legalization vote on next week's agenda. So this was posted on February 14th. So like I said, I think we're heating up big time into April, and with them potentially going live in the beginning of April, everything is lining up nicely. Safer banking, gaining some traction as well. So like I said, lots to be excited about over the next few months. And I think Schedule 3 is more than likely imminent before the end of April as well. Turning Point Brands to host fourth quarter and fiscal year 2023 and conference call. So they'll be hosting the call on Wednesday, February 28th, 2024 at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern. And we'll discuss the results with the investment community. Moving on, Philippine House of Representatives Joint Committee passes medical MJ bill. So this is great to see. Again, game theory playing out. And once one falls, they all fall. Also, Quebec MJ store SQDC posts Canadian 33 million third quarter net income. So as we know, a lot of provinces are privatized, like here in Alberta, but in Quebec and the rest of, mostly Atlantic Canada, I believe, is all government run. So they're doing very well here, the Quebec government and their cannabis branch, the SQDC. Moving on, Ukraine's Zelensky signs medical MJ bill, a step that he says can heal pain, stress, and trauma of war with Russia. So I found this a little odd. They're at war with Russia and they're passing MJ bills. It's kind of weird timing. It's like, don't you have other things that you can be doing? But not to get political, but if this is going to help, with pain and stress and trauma of war, then I'm all for it. But I found it a little odd at the beginning, but I guess it makes sense. And psychedelics and things like that are going to be turned to more and more. But interesting timing of events. But like I said, it's just game theory playing out. Also, the cannabis company expands retail and wholesale partnership with rapidly growing vaporizer brand Aero. And we have British Columbia allowing promotion of outdoor consumption areas for MJ, which is great to see. And then moreover on that, we have the first cannabis consumption lounge licensed in Nevada after final okay. So this is going to be another big emerging trend as well, these consumption lounges. And eventually you'll be able to buy, beverages in the restaurants and pubs and things like that. They'll have something on tap more than likely where you can get an MJ infused. It's going to be interesting to see actually, because a lot of countries, a lot of provinces and states don't like to commingle them. They like to have their own separate shop, right? So it's going to be interesting. And a dream of mine is to have a Cannapub where it's only MJ infused beers, which would be awesome. So that's been a dream of mine, and hopefully make that a reality at some point in the not too distant future. Also in New York awards 110 more adult use MJ business licenses. That is definitely no small number and going to be a huge market. And then also the officials in New York approved MJ home grow rules and new business licenses amid rocky start for legal market. So definitely a rocky start, but they seem to be getting everything sorted out. Also, New Jersey will reach and surpass 1 billion in MJ sales in 2024, even as federal legalization stalls, top state regulator says. I hear some people say that the MJ industry isn't going to be that profitable. Okay, New Jersey will reach and surpass 1 billion in MJ sales in 2024. Yeah, not that profitable. No profit to be had whatsoever. Ianthus announces restatement of third quarter 2023 financial results as well. So this is another operator that's been plagued. They're certainly troubled. I don't think they're going to really stand the test of time. I think they'll more than likely be a bio target or merge with another company. We'll see. But I think they more than likely are going to get acquired by some other company. But going into there, it's Rod with Pow Group. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Like I said, got to run to dinner here, so try to keep this one a little bit short and sweet. Going to be celebrating our anniversary, so looking forward to it. For those celebrating any kind of events this weekend, wishing you the best. And thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. We'll see you again on the next video. Take care.